He who would not be denied. Lord Orchefant has more than a few questions to ask. That my friend, that my friends was rather too close for comfort. Praise Heloni that things did not end in bloodshed. I confess I was more than a little dismayed to see you in the company of the Lady Iceheart. Whatever is going on, Lavenza? Beg pardon? You traveled to the Churning Mists together? Along with Estinian? He's just like, I don't... This breaks my mind. Never was there a more unlikely alliance, nor one so magnificently effective. Nidhogg dead, the heretics pacified. Father and Sir Emmerich must know of this. Let us break the news to them together. I will bring Sir Emmerich to Fortel Manor. Yes, an excellent suggestion. Very well. Lavenza and I shall await you there. Okay, so where is Fortel from where we are? It could just be right through the... Like, again, I don't... The layout of Ishgard I'm not super great with, but... At least as far as the complete layout, like, I'm good enough using the Aethernet.
Praise Helone, you are safe.
My safety was never in doubt, Father, for I had the Azure Dragoon and the Warrior of Light by my side. We bring the most wonderful tidings.
So much positivity. You just gotta love Orchefant. He's just like, everything is wonderful.
The infamous Lady Iceheart? Here in Ishgard? This is most unexpected.
She has done much to quell the violence. The Inquisition may not approve, but we are glad of her presence.
And with the Great Worm's demise, even our nation's more reactionary elements will have scant grounds to press for her immediate impeachment.
My thoughts exactly.
What of the truth revealed to us by Hraesvelga? That the origins of the Dragonsong War, a core tenet of Ishgardian faith, are quite unlike those depicted in the scriptures.
That men and dragons once lived together in harmony, and that it was man's treachery which shattered the peace and plunged our peoples into war.
The same scripture also describes the origins of the High Houses. Were it exposed as false, the legitimacy of our rule would be called into question. If both Highborn and Lowborn can trace their ancestry to Thordan and his Knights 12.
But a single sip of dragon's blood is required to confirm their lineage.
If the Holy See knew of this and chose to remain silent, their crimes are grievous indeed. Regardless, this state of affairs cannot be allowed to continue.
Sir Emmerich, you cannot mean to raise this matter with the Archbishop.
Pray consider what you are proposing. If the Holy See chose to conceal the truth for centuries, what reason would they have to reveal it now?
At best, you will be branded a heretic and clapped in irons.
Then at least the Archbishop will have shown his true colors. My friends, this war will never truly be at an end until the truth is made known. You must see what lies on the horizon if it is not. When ruled by fear of a common enemy, we were united. But now we have none. During the war, the highborn needed men to lead, and the lowborn men to follow. Not anymore. 'Tis but a matter of time before the old order is called into question. Lady Iceheart will share the truth with her followers, and the Holy See will be powerless to stop its spread. The disenfranchised will rise up united, and blood will flow in the streets once more. A divided Ishgard will not survive.
Tread carefully, Lord Commander.
It makes me wonder if all Ishgardians...
My lady, is it wise to let him go? I sympathize with the Lord Commander's desire for reform, but to approach the Archbishop in this manner bespeaks an idealism to which I did not think Sir Emeric prone.
Though he comports himself as a realist, he has long dreamt of reform. 'Twas that idealism which first drew me to him, that which made me swear an oath to serve. We must not think of ways to hinder his cause, but rather ways to aid it, even should the Holy See cry heresy.
You cannot mean...
If the Lord Commander does not return from the vault at the appointed hour, I mean to go and fetch him.
Have care, my lady. Your words border on treason. Should they reach the wrong ears, you will be declared an enemy of Ishgard.
That is a risk I am willing to take. Lest you forget, my lord, I am not born of this land. My loyalty is to the Lord Commander alone. But I speak only of what may come to pass. If the rumors regarding his heritage are to be believed, we have naught to fear.
Lies and slander.
Forgive me, what rumors are these?
That Sir Emeric is the Archbishop's bastard son. Senior clergy are not permitted to marry and sire children. But even the holiest among us are not immune to temptation.
I labor to believe it. Sir Emeric is truly the Archbishop's son.
He has never been publicly acknowledged as such, but the rumors have plagued him since childhood. That he rose to his current position, despite being despised as a bastard and accused of profiting from his father's influence, bespeaks the quality of his character. It is my hope that on this occasion, the burden of his birth will work in his favor. Should our worst fears be realized, the Archbishop will not be so quick to execute his own flesh and blood, affording us time to mount a rescue.
Bastard or trueborn, he is our nation's best hope. If the Holy See dares to threaten him, I shall lead the charge against the vault myself.
So are we going to be...
Hear, hear! The future of Ishgard rests on Sir Emeric's shoulders. I too will do mine utmost to aid his cause.
Orshafon, be reasonable.
A knight lives to serve, Father. To aid those in need. The people need Sir Emeric more than ever, and we may be his only hope. There is no greater calling for a knight than to save the life of his fellow man. I swear to you, on the sigil of our house, that I shall do this and make you proud.
Even you? Romantic, reckless fools, the lot of you. So be it. Make your preparations.
So are we going into the vault next?
I thank you all for your support.
I didn't realize that we were potentially that far into the story now. Because I remember it being like later. I mean, we are in the back half of 3.0, but I didn't think it was already. I'm wondering, like, if everybody in Ishgard now has the blood of the original Knights 12 or whatever it was, then, I mean, I could get that, like, over 1,000 years, you know, in a isolated nation that, you know, things would spread out enough to do that. But then it makes you wonder how there became that division between lowborn and highborn. I mean, it's not in this type of society, it's not that unbelievable to believe that, you know, just depending on, you know, who you mated with or whatever, that, I mean, likely that woman and her child would be, because I know there's at least one story somewhere in Ishgard, I don't know if it's a side story or part of the MSQ, where there is like a woman who, I mean, maybe it might be a Orshavant's story, you know, who was like a servant or something, but had the child of a highborn, but they were treated like lowborn or whatever. I don't know. I mean, a crappy society, for sure. Far be it from me to criticize a man for his blind idealism. Yeah, that's one of the things I thought of. But he might at least have pretended to consider another course. Of all the people, he should know better. If we must risk the fortunes of our house to bring this truth to light, then so be it. But are you truly prepared to do this, to face the heaven's ward in battle, if you must? Yeah, it's going to be fun. Have no fear, Father. My arm will not falter. My shield will not break. I promise you, we shall prevail. Though your assistance is most welcome, I fear it will not be enough. Few as we are, we will struggle to reach the Lord Commander. If we are to succeed, we must needs recruit others to our cause. Okay, so it's level 56, and I want to say Vault is 57 or 58. The Lord Commander has need of us, and we of him. We must act now. Yeah. Same. Ill weather friends. Adversity acquaints a man with strange bedfellows, as Alphino knows only too well. That's some exciting music starting up. But how are we to carry out this bold endeavor? Even with an army of knights at our backs, a direct assault on the vault seems unlikely to succeed. I mean, obviously we do have to take on the vault, but like, they're just raring up to go, you know, before we even know what the circumstances are. You are correct, Master Alphino. Not even the assembled might of House Fortan and the Temple Knights would be sufficient. With the support of another party, however, we may yet stand a chance. You speak of one of the other high houses, or the heretics? Precisely the opposite. I speak of the revolutionaries rumored to reside in the Broom. Oh! And this is... I was thinking about her the other day, and I couldn't... As I do, you know, brain farting on her name. But I actually remembered last night, but it felt kind of out of place to just throw out her name. But Hilda. And this is probably who we're going to meet now. 'Twas these disgruntled Ishgardians who opened the gates of our city to the heretics, I believe. But of course, if their hatred of the Holy See drove them to such deeds, they might well be persuaded to assist in Sir Emeric's rescue, knowing the truth he may lay bare, or he would lay bare. Such is my hope, Master Alphino, and I would have you and Lavenza reach out to them. As a temple knight and sworn servant of the Holy See, any overtures I make are doomed to fail. But as outsiders, the two of you may receive a warmer welcome. Very well, we shall seek out the leader of these revolutionaries and make our case. My thanks. Estinian, will your brothers heed your command if you order them to stand aside? The dragoons have no love for politics, my lady. They will gladly watch and wait while the highborn fight amongst themselves. How very wise. Lavenza, we should hurry to the Forgotten Knight. Tataru may have knowledge of the revolutionaries. Yeah, we don't really see any of the other dragoons, right? Like, I think it's in Heaven's Word that we're introduced to another dragoon in the dragoon job quests. But other than that, there's not like any other dragoons that pop up in the story, right? I was just thinking, you know, because asking Estinian about his brothers in arms or whatever. It would seem that the Forgotten Knight was spared the worst of the earlier chaos. Lavenza Alphino, gods have been worried sick. It's so good to see you. And you, Tataru, how did you manage to escape the chaos in the streets? Gibralon and the others barricaded the doors until the heretics left. No one was harmed, thankfully. But what about you two? What came of your journey? A lot. You're not serious. What was Sir Imric thinking? I mean, the way you two talk about him, I wouldn't have believed. Anyway, I've heard rumors of the people you're looking for, but I doubt they'll be of much use. The only thing I can say with any certainty is that they're led by someone called the Mongrel. I think, like, I'm pretty sure that is Hilda. And I think that makes sense. I mean, because Mongrel is... I mean, I'm thinking, because I know, you know, in relation to, like, dogs, but, I mean, it's not... There's another term for mixed breed dogs, right? Or is mongrel one of those words? Because they would make sense then, because she's half Elysian and half human. A queer moniker, if ever I have heard one, but mayhap it will make the individual in question easier to find. Come, let us all make inquiries below. Yeah, that's one of the character customizations I would... Customizations. It's like, that's not a word. Customizations I would love to see is, you know, like mixed breed or mixed race. I mean, if nothing else, start off with, you know, half Elysian, half human or Hur. Just because I really like Hilda and I like the way she looks. But I think they've already... Well, interestingly, they've already, I think, commented on it. The devs have, in that, like, they're really, really, really rare. But at the same time, I mean, you know, that's supposed to be the case for male Makote and male Vieira. So, But I don't know that they want to, because I don't know what the difference is between like Hilda and the rest of characters as far as, you know, like what it would be like to make gear and helms and hairstyles for them. Because Hilda is unique, I think, even in her hairstyle. Huh? What's that? Speak up. I can't hear as well as I used to. And that's it. I don't know a god's damn thing about the mongrel. But if I did, you can be sure I wouldn't tell you. Well, you'd think, like... Well, I guess Warrior of Light is still kind of a nobody here. It's not until after either 3.0 or 3.3. A mongrel? Not sure I catch your meaning. To a blue blood, we're all of us dogs down here. Yeah, I don't know if mongrel is just supposed to mean kind of like a wild kind of like untrained dog or whatever, or just a lowly dog. At first the people here were a bit standoffish, but with a little effort and a lot of parley I managed to make plenty of friends. Not a single shred of information. Just as I expected, these revolutionaries would not have evaded capture for so long without the masses' complicity. Still, it is good to know that Tataru's ears are as sharp as ever. Oh, if you haven't yet, you should learn the Manderville art of parley. It's surprisingly effective, so long as you stick to topics you know well. For example, the other day I was discussing the copper ore market with this one gentleman. The spice of life. Alphino is not one to be easily detoured. Frustrating though it may be, we must press on. While I continue speaking with the people of the Broom, why not go and see if Gibberlon, God, these names, knows aught of value. As the proprietor of the Forgotten Knight, surely he must have heard whispers of the mongrel before. We can only hope that he will be more forthcoming than the others. One thing I was thinking of earlier, and why I think Heavensward was so much more well received than A Realm Reborn, at least one of the reasons is, I think just because of the lore. Like, A Realm Reborn, its lore, by and large, was just 1.0. Whereas Heavensward's lore is, at least 1,000 years, and it's just all the stuff between Elizin and the dragons and all that type of stuff. I think just people like that type of stuff. I mean, particularly in like a fantasy type game. And so I think having that rich kind of lore just creates like a strong foundation for the story. Anyway, that's just something that came to my mind. People long for a sympathetic ear, but they need to know that it comes with tight lips. Discretion, Lavenza. That's what my customers expect. If they don't get it, then I don't get them. That being said, I'm not without my sympathies. I've heard the tales, and I know you've done right by Highborn and Lowborn alike. Least I can do is point you in the right direction. But to do that, I'll need you to do something for me. So happens there's a hunter up in the Crozier who owes me a fair bit of coin. However, I've agreed to accept payment in fresh herbs. Go and get them for me. Agreed? It's, you know, it's to only be expected that anytime, like, you're asking something of somebody else, they're going to ask you to do something for them. But, I mean, going to grab some herbs. I mean, I'll at least say, like, if it were me really experiencing this, like, I would certainly take, oh, just go pick up some herbs as opposed to, like, go killing some, like, ravenous beast. It's like, I'd take the herbs all day. So, you're Giberlon's errand girl. Good, good. How's he doing? Same as always? Right, right. Any road. I hope he appreciates how much trouble I had to go through on account of his bloody herbs. Tell him to enjoy them while they last, because I doubt I'll be able to find any more next year. I wonder what that's about. Just weather, or is it like beasties he has to deal with? Catfish in a frog suit. Takes all kinds. Well, you going to hand them over or not? Fresh herbs. This nameless flora has a pleasant enough scent to suggest it is most likely not poisonous. I was just thinking, isn't that actually... Isn't there, in some cases, like, the pleasant smell is actually an indication of poisonous? Maybe I'm wrong. Aye, this ought to do it. With a few other spices, I can make it just like she used to. There are few things which stir the hearts of men like a sip of mulled wine. Share a glass with the right people, and who knows what stories they'll share. Noble indiscretions. Giberlon has a faraway look in his eyes. Now that I think on it, there's a woman I know who's rather fond of this blend. Hyretha is her name, and she resides in the Pillars. She's a maidservant to some noble house or another, I forget. Anyway, be a shame if she didn't get to try this wine. Why not give her a bottle? You just said the Pillars or something, right? But no. Specific. Okay, so just the... Astrologicum. I don't know that I've ever really actually tried to say that word. You know, I just recognize it and know where it is. Yes, I'm Hyretha. Beg your pardon? But do I know you, miss? twice mulled wine. This wine is cooled after its first mulling and allowed to sit for a fortnight before mulling a second time with a fresh muslin bag of spices for delivery to one Hyretha. I know this smell. This is the wine that girl used to prepare. Her special recipe. It must be decades since I last tasted this. Oh, the poor dear. Such a shame that she was taken in by that baron. He cut a dashing figure, I'll grant you that. Tall, slender, long of ear. But those dazzling ruby eyes of his were filled with lust. 'Twas not more than infatuation, what she felt, but she convinced herself it was love, and he couldn't help but take advantage. But when her belly started to grow, gods, the scandal. Okay, this is probably what I was talking about earlier. I can't believe I remembered this. I mean, 'tis not an uncommon occurrence, but that it was with a Hur made it so much, well, I needn't tell you. She was discharged from his service, cast out onto the streets like so much refuse. Okay, so it's actually, it seems like Hilda's story. That's probably why I remembered it. Like, if it was anybody else, I would have forgot it. But after she returned to the broom, we drifted apart. I only learned of her death years later by chance. Oh. Gods, it feels like a lifetime ago. Yeah, so, and this probably makes sense in why this story stuck with me, because it's, it's what motivated Hilda. That, I mean, she's even like half highborn, and they threw her out on the street. So the amorous nobleman beds his maidservant, then casts her aside when the seed takes root. Not the most original tale, is it? Cold comfort for the women and children who live it, though. Thank you all for watching this video. Heaven's Word has been phenomenal. If you've enjoyed it as much as I have, please like, comment, and subscribe on this video. And if you want to see me live, the link to my Twitch is down below. Thank you again for watching, and have a good one.